Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. Hey, I want to thank you for joining us as we are going through the book of Leviticus. Today we have talked about all the sacrifices. And today we're talking about specifications that God gave regarding those sacrifices. So I have my coil nail gun here. And when I got this, it came with the owner's manual. And Leviticus is like an owner's manual for people that were living in that time period in the Old Testament, okay? There's a lot we can learn from that. So don't disregard it and think, oh, I don't live in the Old Testament anymore. What we're talking about mostly here as we go through Leviticus is how the different things they did and stuff, God did it for a reason, but then also it's pointing to Jesus. So much of it is. When I get my coil nail gun, it comes with the owner's manual, and I have the owner's manual here. In that owner's manual, the first page, it has specifications. So right here it has the specifications. You probably can't see all that, but it gives all the details of like what nails are to be used and the inlet size and the length of the nails and everything else. Because if you use the wrong nails in here, you're in for a world of hurt, because it's not going to work and you're going to mess up your nail gun. So in the same way, the people, if they didn't read Leviticus right and do what it said here, they were in for a world of hurt, because things were not going to be going right for them. And get this too, these are in this manual here, it's specifications, not suggestions. It doesn't say, oh, if you think you can do, put this nail in, go ahead and give it a try. It doesn't say that at all. It gives specifications. You need to do things just like what the manual says. And in Leviticus, it's the same way. It's specifications. You need to do exactly the way it says, and don't deviate from it. It's not like, oh, if you don't feel like doing it this way, then you just do it whatever way you feel like it. That's a bunch of garbage, okay? So today we are getting into some of those specifications, and we're on chapter 6 of Leviticus. And right now we're starting at verse 8. We're going to go through that chapter today. Chapter 6, verse 8, all the way through verse 30. Okay? So this is dealing with the burnt offering. And again, it's specifications of how it's to be done. God told exactly how it's supposed to be done. Don't be deviating from it and doing some creative way that you want to do it. It says this: the Lord said to Moses, give Aaron and his sons this command. These are the regulations for the burnt offering. The burnt offering is to remain on the altar hearth throughout the night till morning, and the fire must be kept burning on the altar. Okay? So you kept that fire burning all the time with that. The priest shall then put on his linen clothes with his linen undergarments next to his body, and shall remove the ashes of the burnt offering that the fire has consumed on the altar, and place them beside the altar. Then he is to take off the clothes and put on the others, and carry the ashes outside the camp to a place that is ceremonially clean. The fire on the altar must be kept burning. It must not go out. Every morning the priest is to add firewood and arrange the burnt offering on the fire, and burn the fat on the fellowship offerings on it. The fire must be continually kept burning on that altar continuously, and must not go out. It's believed that God lit that fire initially back, when they got this whole tabernacle going, and God blessed that tabernacle, and that fire was to be kept going. Okay, so verse 14. These are the regulations of the grain offering. Aaron's sons are to bring it before the Lord in front of the altar. The priest is to take a handful of the finest flour and some olive oil, together with all the incense on the grain offering, and burn the memorial portion on the altar as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Aaron and his sons shall eat the rest of it, but it is to be eaten without yeast in the sanctuary area. They are to eat it in the courtyard of the tent of meeting. It must not be baked with yeast. I have given it as a share of the food offerings presented to me. Like the sin offering and the guilt offering, it is most holy. Any male descendant of Aaron may eat it. For all generations to come, it is his perpetual share of food offerings presented to the Lord. Whatever touches them will become holy. Verse 19, the Lord also said to Moses, this is the offering Aaron and his sons are to bring to the Lord. On the day he and his anointed, a tenth of the ephah of the finest flour as a regular grain offering, half of it in the morning and half in the evening. It must be prepared with oil on a griddle. Bring it to well mixed and present it as a grain offering, broken in pieces, as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. The son who is to succeed him as anointed priest shall prepare it. It is the Lord's perpetual share, and it is to be burned completely. Every grain offering of the priest shall be burned completely. It must not be eaten. A few more verses here. Verse 24, the Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron and his sons, these are the regulations for the sin offering. The sin offering is to be slaughtered before the Lord in the place of the burnt offerings is slaughtered. It is the most holy. The priest who offers it shall eat it. It is to be eaten in the sanctuary area, in the courtyard of the tent of meeting. Whatever touches any of the flesh will become holy, and if any of the blood is splattered on a garment, you must wash it in the sanctuary area. The clay pot the meat is cooked in must be broken, but if it is cooked in a bronze pot, the pot is to be scoured and rinsed with water. Any male in a priest's family may eat it. It is the most holy. But any sin offering whose blood is brought into the tent of meeting is to make atonement in the holy place. It must not be eaten. It must be burned up. Okay, so those are going over the sin offering, the grain offering, and the burnt offering. All three of those offerings, the specifications are given, very, very exact specifications of how you are to do it. It tells like when you're to do it and how you're to do it, and like when you were supposed to eat this, when you ate it, and where you were to eat it. Okay, you weren't supposed to. It wasn't a takeout restaurant here. The priests were to eat it right in the sanctuary there, and it not carry it around and treat it casually. So a lot of respect is given to this whole thing. But what I want you to see for today and tomorrow is this. These are specifications that God laid out, and you didn't deviate from them and make up your own things that you thought was better. Okay, sometimes we're guilty of that. Even when you have employees, employees come along and they go, hey, I think I can do this better than you, even though I've only worked here like an hour and you've worked here 30 years. No, I don't think so. So God had it planned out, and he laid out exactly how he wanted it done, and you were to follow his ways. The same way as we as Christians, we have the Bible laid before us. And some people go, oh, yeah, I don't believe all the Bible, and I'm just going to make up my own thing as I go along. No, you're not following Jesus then. Okay, you're following Jesus and somebody else. Okay, so Jesus laid it out exactly as it should be, and that's the way we need to follow. All right? Hey, thanks for watching. Join me tomorrow as we continue our discussion with specifications, not suggestions. Lord's blessing. I'll see you tomorrow.